Hey, y'all. This is your girl, Erica, from the Dope Discussions with Erica podcast. Before we get into today's show, I just want to ask you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you can meet us back here every Sunday at 6:30 Central Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for all of our dope discussions. You don't want to miss them, do you? So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you can meet us here and maybe even beat us here.
Dope Discussions podcast. Dope Discussions, Gator, Erica, woke discussions. Mob ties, how they rock and think they both was cousins. Gifting you with their words so you might know you something. Just go and look for them live. They do it every Sunday. Every Sunday.
And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope. It's Gator beat it, baby. Make state to state, baby, coast to coast. Like the vibe, baby, spark the jokes. And we gon' bring you that dope. So talk with Erica, man, talk with G. And all you gotta do is talk with me. And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope.
Hey, people. Welcome back to another Dope Discussion Sunday with your girl, Erica, and your boy, Gator.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, look, I don't even know if I have a delayer right now. We trying to get some technical issues ironed out right now. So I don't know if I'm delaying. Am I delaying, Erica?
Just a little bit. It's a lot better. Just a little bit.
Okay. Working on it. Trying to get that thing together, you know. In the process of,
You're
getting
in a new location
spot and moving. Yeah, in the process of trying to get everything together, sometimes you got to stop and get things to go. So that's what I'm doing.
We rolling with the punches. Glad you was able to make it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we thought everything was worked, but see, I guess you don't know if you got a delay unless you got somebody else on there to hear whether or not you had that delay. So yeah.
Yes. Well,
so sorry about that virtual congregation.
That's okay. We all in the house. Thank God for another Dope Discussion Sunday. Thank God for another Who Dat Sunday.
Ooh, can we talk about them boys? I started to come in my black and blue. I started to really, but I said, no, I will be good today. I will be good. But who that? Say they're gonna be doing.
Who that? Not Washington.
No. That was a negative. Negative.
Yes, but you had a good week so far. Been moving. You've been moving all week.
Man, so this has been a crazy week. So, God puts little things in your ear every once in a while, and sometimes you don't, you see it and say, I hear you, God, you just keep on going, right?
Right.
So that I just, purchased a new vehicle, you know.
Right.
I'm doing my little thing the other day, doing my little Uber thing,
Yeah.
and I see a car get sideswiped in the middle of the intersection, and it throws the car over to my car, and boom, wrecks my new car.
No. No.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Exactly.
You
So
froze up.
yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm here now. I'm good.
Yeah, you back.
Okay, good. Yeah, it was a mess. I was heated. I was crying.
You was crying.
Was I
I would have been
crying?
crying. So did it did it damage it to where you can't drive it?
Let's put it like this. Yeah, but I mean, I could drive. I can drive it, so that's okay. But I could barely drive it. You
Wow.
know what I'm saying? When I make a turn, it go
Oh
like it's
man.
screeching.
And
Yeah.
you were in
So
the car?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was like, man. But thank God that it didn't come a little bit closer, because for a second I thought I was gonna take the hit on the door, and
Yeah.
that would have been good. But it was pretty bad. The people got taken to the hospital that was in the car, that because they ran the red light is what happened, and happened
Right.
to run the red light right into an SUV. So yeah, they both
Mm.
got taken to the hospital in the ambulance. It was rough. It was rough.
Man, I don't see none of our people on here. I got to make sure we're actually broadcasting because I'm not
I don't
showing
think we
anybody.
are. I don't think we are.
It says we live.
I know, because I don't see nothing on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Let me see.
Let us check the YouTubes. Because I
Yeah.
know that they out there. I know they ain't out there watching that dang Cowboys game. Because if they is, I'm talking bad about them as soon as they come in. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I showed it live, but it do look like ain't nobody in there. That's weird.
Your sound is going in and out. It's like
Oh, hey, I'm gonna try to get linked to a different computer. 'Cause I think
okay.
I might try to do that. I'm trying to working on some new hardware. I'll try to work on the other one and see if that helps too.
It got better back
So give me
then.
just a minute. Oh, it's better.
Okay.
Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
it just got better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going in and out every once in a while. It could just be the internet in my area. So
Yeah, because you in a new area now, so you gotta make adjustments for where
yeah,
you at.
exactly. Shoot, I ain't even finished moving. I'm moving somewhere near here. Those, you know what I'm saying? Live and direct from a
Mhm.
secret location.
From the bat cave, the man cave.
Right from the man cave. you know.
Yes. Well, I am ready to go ahead and get into today's discussion. We got some things on deck. We're gonna be talking about some current events, what's going on in the world today. You know, this past week, last couple of weeks, we've been just having some crazy stuff popping off.
Right. And that's the crazy part about it, is that it seems like just the last couple of weeks, social media in itself has been a monster.
I'm saying,
you know?
yes, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about I pulled up a video that I want to play for the audience, and then we're gonna speak about that. This was a topic that I added at the last minute, but I feel like it's really important and pertinent that we talk about this. Why are women so afraid for their safety? I've been
Mm.
seeing so many videos of women posting about strange men following them in the grocery store, strange
Oh wow.
men following them to their cars. Um, there's a video I'm gonna play where this lady was going into her apartment building, and he watched her and he followed her until she got to her door, and he tried to bust into her door, and she closed her door right at the right moment to prevent him from getting into her apartment.
Oh wow. Yeah, I did see that. I
You saw
did see
that?
that. Yeah, that's scary. That
It's
is
a
scary.
it's a lot of lately women have been reporting men just being creepy and trying to like stalk them. I saw this one video. I wrote some of these stuff down. I saw this one video. This girl and her friends were in Las Vegas, and they met these guys, and she only knew the guy for maybe like 15-20 minutes, and he was trying to talk to her, and because she wouldn't accept his advances, he set her car on fire.
What? Okay, so
And
because I don't want no piece of you, I'm gonna go ahead and set your car on fire.
mhm.
Yeah, see, that's real mature. That is very mature.
Hey Ursula, come on in, we about to get
Man,
into the topic. Yes, and then
Ursula, what's going on?
I saw another video with this lady. Her and her daughter were walking through Walmart, and she said the strange man followed them all through Walmart. And when they got ready she said they lost him in the store, but then when they were checking out, she was watching everywhere to make sure he didn't, come back around. He spotted them when they were getting ready to leave out of the store, and he followed them. He tried to follow them to their car.
Oh hell nah. See, that's the problem. Well, I can't even say that's the problem. I will say that, we really have a problem with people not knowing how to accept no
Yeah,
as an
I
answer.
it's like there's some warfare with men. There's this hatred. There's underlying hatred of women from men for some reason, and I think social media is fueling it.
Right, right, right. And you see it every day. You see it on a lot of these, anywhere from Kevin Samuels to a whole lot of these other folks. That all there is pawns in this seems like it's a struggle going on.
Hmm.
And hey, Ursula Beck, hey, shout out to y'all too, by the way. This talking dope shift. Oh
Yes,
man, the live Instagram show, man. Y'all do your thing.
it was good. It was good. We had a lot of engagement and feedback from the audience, and the conversation just flowed well. It was awesome. We enjoyed it.
Yep,
We're ready for
yep.
the next one.
Oh yeah. And you said a man followed you from the store. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's almost like you can't say, and look, I've been hearing stories about this all weekend about similar
Hmm.
scenarios. And it's just, yeah,
And
it's
it gives you a
ridiculous.
certain level of anxiety about going
Hmm.
out in public places. So we're gonna play this video right quick to give some context to the story. Here we go.
All
And
right.
tried to force his way in. He wasn't successful, but Amber Cagliano says the woman is sharing video of the moment in hopes of teaching other people ways to stay safe.
A terrifying moment. A panicked woman is desperately trying to get into her apartment before it's too late. A creep bolts down the hallway, coming right for her. She escapes with a second to spare. The drama unfolded at 2 a.m. when the woman arrived home from a long day at work. She says she noticed the stranger lurking outside her building in the Bronx, New York. You can see him go up the stairs. She's apparently unaware that he's right behind her. Once inside, the suspect takes off after her. She gets inside in the nick of time.
Open up the door. Excuse me. Excuse me.
The lucky woman with the red hair and her family are so terrified today, they did not want their faces shown.
At this point, she wouldn't want to go outside to work or anything because she's scared this will happen again.
Can you believe the doors to the building were unlocked that night and remained so when Inside Edition was there?
It's the moment of vulnerability we face every day. You're outside your home, your keys are in your hand, you're about to open the door, anything can happen.
Security expert Manny Gomez offered some important safety tips.
This is an alarm. It could save your life. It's very easy to use. You just pull it.
Oh, that's loud.
That's right. It's loud. It'll act as a deterrent.
Old-fashioned pepper spray I see you have.
Old-fashioned pepper spray as well. It's been around for decades, and it works really well. You just flip the cap and put it into somebody's eyes. That person will immediately have a negative burning sensation reaction, and it'll give you time to escape and evade that assailant.
He also showed me a self-defense technique.
You could grab a knee to the groin, fingers to the eyes, chop to the throat.
Hopefully you will never find yourself in a crisis like this.
Hey, yo, Mitch.
The woman says her guard is now up. Her family is keeping a close eye on her whenever she does leave the apartment.
Man, and I know she has to be. When they say that she's terrified, I know she's got to be terrified. I'd be terrified too to leave my apartment if I knew that somebody literally was following me, lurking in the shadows one night when I'm just getting off from work. And all of a sudden, the thing that killed me is that he walked up to the door. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me.
Right. Like,
after
you
he done came
followed her
around the corner, chased it.
Right. You were trying to get in her door. You ran down the hallway because you saw her door closing. So you didn't have any good intentions. That's sad.
Right. None whatsoever. That's sad. That's past sad. That's and you think about how many people, go work at night. They get in 2 o'clock in the morning. How many women have to go through something like that? And how many women he's tried to do that to?
Maybe have been successful in the past. Who knows?
Right, exactly. Now that's the scary part. Maybe he's been successful with it before, because there is no good intention from that at all. The way even his mannerisms and everything, there was no good intention. If he had been wanting to sit there and maybe talk to her or something, he would, hey, what's going on? No, he ain't do that. He did that. He ran after her and chased her in. That's ridiculous. And we got to do better as a society. Us men got to do better, in schooling these little youngsters. But women, make sure that y'all do have some form of protection, or whether it be a taser, whether it be an alarm. Like that alarm was pretty loud that he had on that video. Pepper spray, things like that. Look, whatever you got to do to make sure that you come home. Look, that's what you got to do. And it's sad that you have to do that, but you have to. You got to do it.
It's the entitlement for me. It's like I've seen an air of entitlement from a lot of men. Like this one woman said she noticed a man following her in her car, and he followed her all the way to her apartment. And he pulled up beside her and he asked her, did she live around there? And she told him no, because she didn't want him to know that was her apartment. And he was like, well, I just wanted to stop you and let you know that I think that you are so beautiful. She said, you followed me for 5 miles to tell me I'm beautiful?
Right. Say, look like you should have something better to do with your life than to follow me for 5 miles. Matter of fact, I heard a story yesterday about a similar issue. You know what I'm saying? And not even going into the story, but it's just like, the guy legit followed them during in a public place, breast cancer walk, and literally followed this girl around the whole track and sat there waiting on her to show up in a public place. And was telling her, get in the car. While they got, like what? What is going on? Yeah, this dude was very highly entitled in that scenario, and that is definitely creepy. You know,
Wow.
you don't care about the people that's around. You just want to go ahead and try to see if somebody gonna be crazy enough to jump in the car with you, that and just drive off.
Yeah, we got to do better. We got to protect women. We got to check our surroundings at all times. We got to make sure that we need more of our men to hold other men accountable
Yeah.
and speak against this foolishness, man. You're not entitled to anything. You're not entitled to, and it's like because of all of this rhetoric that they're speaking, it dehumanizes women. So you don't see them as a person, you see them as an object to
Right.
get you what you need. If I'm looking
Right.
for sexual gratification, I can you're the object that's going to get that for me, but I don't see you as a person.
Right, exactly. And you
And that's
can't see that
dangerous.
somebody as a person. Yeah, you can't see somebody as a person if you're doing craziness like that. You know?
Exactly. Because when you switch it up on them and you ask them, so what if somebody was doing that to your mother or your daughter? Then it kind of clicks in their head. But it's not my
For
mother or my
some of
daughter.
them.
It's a woman
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's not a big deal.
Right, right. For some of them, it won't even click then. You know,
Mhm.
they're just so removed from any personal connections to people that they literally will not care. They can't see it for them being a woman. They just see it for like Ursula was saying, an object,
You're right.
something to go after and to conquer and to do whatever you want to do to. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
So that goes into our next topic. Are we still listening to R. Kelly music, really? Because I've been seeing people saying that they still gonna listen to R. Kelly music, and you got to separate the artist from the man. He was a musical genius, and I grew up to that music. I have so many memories to that music. Okay, I do too. But once I found out
Right.
what he was doing, and once I found out a lot of his music was actually singing about the little girls he was messing with, and
Right, right.
once you understand that you cannot separate his music from him, because his music was used to lure these girls in. His music was actually used in a lot of his crimes. A lot of
Mhm.
these people were ensnared into his world by him promising them a music career.
Exactly. And that's part of the problem that I have with it, is that, it's not just about the music. It's about the fact that he used that music in a whole lot of scenarios, the fame that he got from the music and his talent and his genius to lure in these unsuspecting people who decided that they wanted to be an artist. They wanted to be where he was. They wanted, or they were starstruck by all of this. He used that like the Pied Piper that he literally blatantly said he was, and was literally luring people in and using them and exploiting them, and molesting them. So I mean, yeah, that there's a definite thing with that. The other thing though is that he wrote songs for a lot of people too. And
Yeah.
some people are denouncing it, some people are not. And I had this conversation earlier. It's just like, you know, you my whole thing with it is that I've never been the biggest R. Kelly fan anyway.
Mhm.
Now people will get at me for for saying that, but I've never really been that big. 12 players, like, oh, that was okay. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I didn't see the hype behind it,
Right.
right? So I was always, and then I was a little mad anyway because Aaliyah, I had the biggest crush on Aaliyah when I was that age, and he came in and he, got married to her, and I was like, she thought she was supposed to be with me. Anyway, so so I was never really that big of a fan of his anyway. But like, you know, me saying that I don't want to listen to his music is not that big a deal. I don't think it should be that big a deal for other people either. Now, people might have memories tied into it or something like that, but you know, we got memories tied into all kind of traumatic events.
It,
So,
it's
you know,
it's the sick, twisted mindset of our society is that um, music and entertainment is higher value than a little girl's life.
right.
And so, in order for you to hold on to that entertainment value and this man that you idolize and worship and look up to, and you think that he can do no wrong, and they're trying to take a black man down, and all of these girls threw themselves at him and they tricked him. You tell
Mm.
me what I want to know the logic in that. What is the point in being a grown adult if you can be seduced by a child?
Right. And that's the part that kills me when I hear people say that. Like, oh well, these girls knew what they was getting into when they was what?
They literally say these girls tricked him. They threw themselves
They
at
tricked,
him
yeah, these girls tricked R.
and they
Kelly and
trapped
threw
him.
themselves and they trapped him. You gotta be some sort of brainwashed individual to think that this grown ass man was sitting there at the McDonald's after school and was getting tricked by these women these little girls throwing themselves at, man, get out of here.
That's what they've been saying. Like
But
these
look,
these
I've
women know what
seen
they
some
were
of those
doing,
posts.
and these parents they set R. Kelly up. They sold their daughters to R. Kelly. Okay, so if that's your argument, in order to sell your child to somebody, somebody got to be buying. So
Mm-hmm.
the person that's
Exactly.
selling, the person that's selling is committing a crime. The person that's buying is also committing a crime. But y'all
Right.
keeps it's on the parents though. R. Kelly still didn't do nothing wrong.
Right. I saw that too, where they were talking about how the parents were selling their kids into, and I know that some parents may have known something suspicious was going on, or, all that kind of stuff. But it still doesn't, I mean, hey, go after them too. Go after them too.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
feel like that.
don't try to say that R. Kelly did nothing wrong.
He did
you
nothing
know.
wrong. It was all a
Yeah,
big setup.
I saw a post from a girl this weekend that said that. This said he didn't do anything wrong. If it's always been this way in Middle Eastern countries where girls are giving to, by parents, given to older men to, be in their servitude and to marry and everything. If those parents knew about it and were doing it, R. Kelly has no wrongdoing involved. He was just doing what he was supposed to do. I was like, what? Also, you can
Hmm.
listen to 12 play again.
Oh,
All you
that's it. Also, you
and
can step in the name of love.
right, and like this is my whole view on it. Like, I don't listen to R. Kelly's music. If his music was to come on the radio station or somewhere, I'll usually change the channel, and that's just because I don't like his music. But I feel like, hey, look, if I hear it and I'm in a public place, if it's playing, okay, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But I just no sell it. I think the whole issue with the R. Kelly thing is people are, trying to tune out from listening to it. The main thing is listen. You just stop buying it. Stop,
Exactly.
downloading it. Stop doing all of those things. I mean, if you hear it come on the radio, it come on the radio. And if you got in your feelings about it, then yeah, maybe call up the radio station and say, I don't agree. But the main
Right.
thing is to stop buying his music and stop buying the material of the people who support him.
Exactly.
There's like I said, there are some people that he wrote songs for who still have not denounced what he did. Guess what? Them, you know what? We not checking in on you no
We're
more
not
either.
rocking with you either.
Right. What I'm interested in is, they've been talking about R. Kelly singing
Oh
this week.
yeah, he
About all
telling.
the folks that look, That's what it's gonna be. Look, they gonna be calling them the Pied Piper. They gonna be calling them the Black Jeffrey Epstein
I already predicted
in a
that.
minute.
The day they announced him guilty, I said he gonna start Nino Browning. And
Oh
he gonna
yeah,
start telling on all the other people that was involved with it, and also all of the people that was actually in his entourage that was working for him. They didn't want him to be found guilty because now that he's found guilty, his guilty verdict will be used to prosecute them.
right. He
Because
gonna build his own.
right, if he wasn't found
No,
guilty of anything, then they can't bring the other people who helped him into court because there's no
exactly.
crime to pull them in on. But now since he's found guilty, now they're going to be brought in as accessories to what he's already been found guilty to.
Heck yeah, he gonna look. He gonna he gonna build his own penitentiary public announcement up in there. He gonna have a whole bunch of food up in there with him.
A
Trust me.
slow singing and flower bringing.
Right, it's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing.
Yes,
Shoot.
he gonna be singing like a bird. If he think that's gonna get him out sooner, oh, he telling.
Nope.
But
He
it
gonna be
don't.
stepping in the name of love, all right.
To me, I don't think it makes any sense for him to tell because I don't think he ever getting out.
I don't think so
And I don't think no amount of telling on nobody
either.
is still not going to get him enough reduced time to where he gonna ever see the light of day again.
Nope. They might as well call that. You know what? I hate to laugh at it. I know you to see the meme where it's like you done won the prison talent show 10 years in a row, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
R. Kelly come into your
Right. Right.
I was like, y'all
Yes.
stupid. The internet always wins. I would say that. Except for when the internet goes down. Specifically Facebook.
Right. These folks lost their mind, man. See, I see people out here actually acting like Facebook belonged to them.
Right.
They was acting like Facebook got some explaining to do. I ain't been able to get on my page. That don't belong to you.
They had people that was really, really mad, like hard up mad at Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all them things. It was almost like the world was ending for them. Like they couldn't get in, and they was like, what am I gonna do? I ain't look. I saw what's the deal come up. I know I ain't posted in a while, but I'm back. Facebook can't hold me down. And dang, wait a minute, you posted this morning, it went down this afternoon, it's back this evening, and you having a conniption fit because you ain't had a chance to go live.
And everybody was reaching out to everybody else. Is yours down? Oh, I thought I was in FB jail or something.
Look, nothing brings a community together like a death in the family. You know what I'm saying? Facebook and Instagram went down. They're like, oh Lord,
oh yeah,
what is we gonna do?
Some man made a TikTok video where he's like, he made it similar to how when the power go out, and he came out his door and he was like, y'all Facebook working? Oh, okay. Y'all's working? Okay, I'm gonna come over there and use y'all Facebook for a minute. Like, really?
But you know what? It does show you just how connected people are to these social media apps, to where they're living vicariously through these social media apps. And some people actually consider that a part of their daily life and their daily routine is to get on here and see what everybody doing, what everybody up to. I can't see what my people down the street doing because Facebook down. Oh Lord, I gotta go get some business of my own.
It actually is their whole life. Their whole life, because think about it. If you really did have a life outside of Facebook, it wouldn't have been a big deal to you when it went down. It wouldn't have mattered that much. it would have been just one small part of your day. But when it's your whole day, that messes your
Right.
whole day up.
Right. Because there are people that, and I didn't realize it until Instagram went down, where there's people who legit post 9, 10, 12 times a day, like every other hour. They can't go get breakfast without telling somebody that they going to go get breakfast. And then want to take pictures of the waffles. They did all right on my waffles this morning. Hashtag Dunkin'. Oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know.
Merch. It's too merch.
Staging their Starbucks cup just right, so they can take a picture of their work screen. And here we go. It's gonna be another morning for Starbucks. Hashtag grinding.
Yeah. And for people who actually like make money and build businesses around social media, this is going to be a wake-up call, because it's still a privately owned platform. You don't own it. And so if they ever want to pull the rug out from under you, if they ever want to just shut the whole thing down, your business going to go down with it. If that's your only way to do business, your business going to go down with it. So is that really your business?
Right. One of the things that I think people need to do is start looking more again at independent websites, independent platforms where they can actually use that for their commerce and things like that, and advertising, because it's okay to advertise on Facebook, but when you decide to run your business exclusively through a Facebook page, that can cause problems in a scenario like this where Facebook is completely down. Instagram is completely down. We have a few businesses that I work with at my job that were having issues that day. They couldn't get paid that day,
right?
Because Facebook was down. And it was like, well, how is that stopping you from getting paid? And they was like, well, we do all of our business through Facebook, and then the e-commerce through Facebook, and all that's linked through our Facebook page. We didn't see the need to pay money for an actual website. Well, that could be, and there are other websites you can use too, specifically for e-commerce, but look at stuff like that, to kind of wean yourself away from going to the social media pages and setting up your e-commerce stuff there. Go to a different direction.
Right. And that's what's feeding into this big deal with the Facebook whistleblower. Because when she came out with all of that information and all that research stating that Facebook puts profits over public safety and the public interest.
Right.
And so if your business is going to be tied into that platform, when they're under the microscope right now, and they might be pretty soon being regulated by the government, where they're going to have all these different regulations, that's going to affect the way you get to do business on these platforms as well.
Right. So I mean, man, the one thing I will say though is that I think a lot of people had finally got a little bit of peace and quiet.
Oh,
during
it was
that time
so
that was
peaceful.
so I am one of those people who you know this, because sometimes I'll go missing for a week almost.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, where Gator at? I ain't seen him nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm working, I'm doing other stuff. So
Yeah.
like, for everybody to have to take that social media break at once, there are some people who are like, you know what? I'm not going back on Facebook. I actually got some stuff done today. You don't realize a lot of times how much time you end up going down. And TikTok is worse. You go down the rabbit hole on Facebook and you see what everybody's doing that and you're like, okay, cool, whatever. And or Instagram, the people you follow, whatever. TikTok, they just give you all types of variety of entertainment.
They throw everything in your face.
Right. You get on there and all of a sudden you end up on Ratchet Talk. You know, I live on Ratchet Talk.
I ain't never
And you
found
be sitting
myself
there,
on Ratchet Talk. I don't want to go over there neither.
look, I be trying not to share videos with you that's gonna take you to that rabbit hole.
I
You
try
know,
to stay away
look,
from
your girl to sure I send her stuff. She be like, "Oh Lord, what is this?" But then she sends stuff right back. I'm like, she on Ratchet Talk too.
it. Yes, but baby, they was highly upset with Facebook and Instagram. Like that was they stuff. Like they owned it. It was
Mm-hmm.
entertaining to me because I had already deactivated my Facebook page, so I wasn't worried about that part anyway. And I was on
Right.
Instagram that morning. I made my morning post on Instagram, and then I noticed that the page was not refreshing. It was stuck on the same
Yeah.
thing, kept being stuck on the same thing. And I said, well, it must be something. And I restarted my phone and came back up. It was the same thing. I said, oh, it must be down.
It must be. Yeah,
And
I was doing the same thing. So I was doing an investigation actually, and I was going to a business that they literally had their shop on a Facebook page, and I couldn't get it to come up. I'm like, what is going on? I was like, wait a minute, have my firewalls blocked me out? That's not what it's supposed to be doing. So I started going through that, and I was like, oh, the whole thing
yes.
is down. So yeah,
And they said Mark Zuckerberg lost what, $7 billion
Huh.
just that period of time of it being down.
Look. Just a little bit of time that it was down. He lost a
Exactly.
bit. You know, it must be nice to lose $1 billion so dollars.
But I think he didn't mind losing that because they said it all went down because they was cleaning out some of those files and that evidence that whistleblower
Mm,
had spoke about. And so they took the system
mm.
down to clear a lot of that stuff out just in case, the government get ready to come in and do an investigation on their behind.
Right. Because they coming. They
Hmm.
definitely coming. You know. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
they what was that? I saw a meme where they was talking about Mark Zuckerberg was like, yeah, I'm sorry I had to shut it down. She took my phone, man. She took my phone, and the only way I could keep her from going through my messenger was to shut everybody's down. I was
Sure said
like,
he could have
oh
gave it to
Lord.
me. Yeah.
Look, could have gave it to me too. Shoot.
I'm we had this conversation. I think we've had this conversation several times in our group chat. And I've been saying that something needs to happen to Facebook because of the way they're starting to do business. I didn't
Hmm.
like it. I didn't
Yeah.
like it. And you could tell it was all for profit because they were pushing ads in your face, and
Right.
they were monitoring your news feed and putting what they want to put on there instead of what you actually wanted to see on there. And I was getting sick of it anyway. And I had already had that
Right.
conversation with y'all several times about I'm sick of
Yeah.
Facebook.
Right, exactly. Shoot, she was telling us that last week, and then all of a sudden, her picture was blank. I'm like, oh Lord, what happened? I think
I'm
I met
out
like,
of
why is your
here.
picture blank?
Yeah,
She was like,
because
deuces.
I logged on to change my privacy settings, and when I logged on, I scrolled on, I maybe about 2-3 minutes, and I instantly got anxious again, and I got that tense feeling from just
Yeah.
scrolling on there that little time. I was like, I'm finna deactivate this thing. I don't miss it, and I ain't coming back.
Hmm. I know I mentioned
Maybe.
that before to people. Mental health. You do a if you're not deleting it completely, y'all need to actually do an audit on y'all Facebook. Stuff that anger you, stuff that makes you upset. This is something that you have to for your own pleasure. Why are you trying to give yourself anxiety? Go ahead and
Hmm.
delete. Delete all that stuff off of there. Unfollow this person, unfollow that person. I know people that be following people just because they make them mad. Ooh, I can't stand when they be talking about that. Dang you, Fox News. You do. And they be on that tenseness all the time. They be on 100 all the time. They ready to confront people all the time because they sitting there and letting themselves be, exposed to that mess and all of the trauma and all the stuff that Facebook keep on battering down because it rains on there.
No, to sure, YouTube wasn't down. It was just Facebook and Instagram. So everybody rolled over to Twitter and TikTok that day.
Oh yeah,
and
Twitter, they loved it.
Oh yeah, they was loving it. Because I was listening to the day that whistleblower was doing her testimony. I was listening to the information that she was presenting, and she was saying that Facebook had research and information letting them know that their algorithm was causing mental health issues in young women and causing them to be more depressed, to be more suicidal, and to develop more eating disorders.
And
because
these people are following these feeds. Yeah.
And their algorithm was actually designed to push more of that content to those particular groups of people to get them hooked on the app.
Right. Because and much as I hate to say this, that's kind of almost the point of business, is to make sure that people stay on your platform as long as they possibly can, because that's how you make your money. If a business knows that I put my stuff on Facebook, they're gonna be on Facebook all this time. That's the most likely place that they'll hear about my business. So Facebook is strategic in doing it. The problem is that algorithm is also hurting people, because of the way that it runs. And unfortunately, there has to be, you have to do something about it. Now, I understand, Facebook is in it to make money. They don't really care about people. But I mean, at the same time, we care about people. So we have to be the ones to take a stand for it. We have to be the ones to say, you know what? I see what y'all doing, Facebook. Let me back off there. Like, you had deleted your page. I be barely on there. I don't like to feed into the drama. Sometimes we have to be the ones to say, look, no more. We need to make sure our kids are actually not participating in all of these things that they see on Facebook, and to be honest, TikTok too, because if you look at TikTok, they'll take you to some craziness, and you really, all social media in a way is designed to keep you on there. And then once you're on there, they sell you these dreams of what you can be. People get depressed because they're not what they see, on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram all the time.
And the thing about it is, there's grown adults who are deeply affected by it. So imagine children who don't even have a fully formed brain being exposed to this stuff on a daily basis. So what they're going to do is they're going to regulate them just like the tobacco industry, because if you can sell the product to people who are old enough to make their own decisions, but you can't go out here and target children, because what their research is showing is, if you get a child hooked on Instagram and Facebook at the age of 12, they will be a lifelong customer.
Right. It's almost like cigarettes.
Right.
Like if you get a child hooked on cigarettes early enough, you most likely will have a lifetime customer. Somebody who's going to support and going to continue, because it's an addiction. The same, and I was reading a study that was talking about this, the same parts of your brain that get activated when you smoke a cigarette are the exact same parts of your brain that are activated when you log into Facebook and log into Instagram. The exact same response.
It's an addiction
from your nervous system. Yeah, it's an addiction.
It's an addiction. Let me read some of these comments. Kaylee the boss, welcome on in. Kaylee says supply and demand. So doesn't that say a lot about what gets our attention? If they
It
push
does.
more positivity and people stop looking, that'd be a problem. Exactly. And they noticed that when people were putting positive
Yeah.
information out there, it wasn't getting the traction and it wasn't keeping
Right.
people on there. And
Right.
so that's what the lady from the company said. She said right before the election, they changed the safety measures on the social media platform because they didn't want an uprising right before the election. But after the election,
Hmm.
they took them off, and that's where the insurrection on January 6th happened because they took those safety features off, and they were not filtering out all of those posts, those hateful posts from the Trump supporters. They were supposed to be
Yeah.
filtering that stuff out and blocking it, but they was letting it go through.
Yeah, and from either side, that was so. The crazy part about all of that type of stuff is that they know what sells. Like Kaylee was saying earlier, this kind of doesn't that say a lot about what gets our attention? Yeah, we're not trying to
Mhm.
look at the positive stuff. We're trying to look at the train wreck. If
Mhm.
I see somebody pulled over to the side of the road and they are just being orderly and just kind of said that's fine. If I'm not gonna that's not gonna catch my attention. You know what is gonna catch my attention? That mangled car that I see on the side of the road. Or I mean, we want to see that. We have someone who has a beautiful voice and everything, and that's nice to see. But we would rather see the person who out there shaking it with no clothes on and doing, what I'm saying,
Mhm.
all the ratchetness. That's
Right.
that's just what society does. And that does say a lot about our society, which is more reason why we have to start taking those things into our own hands, because Facebook ain't gonna do it. They gonna be profiting from it. They ain't
Right.
gonna try to lose money.
Right. And Quincy says, despite Facebook being immoral for cash, this wouldn't be as big of a problem if more parents took this more seriously. Kids are having their minds poisoned each passing day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, most of these kids were raised on devices,
Right.
social media, cell phones, tablets, laptops. They're raised by technology right now. They're being raised by TikTok and Instagram. Too, I don't think many of the kids are not into Facebook. They into Snapchat,
Right.
Instagram, and TikTok.
Right. And
So,
Instagram and TikTok I mean, Snapchat's used too, but Instagram and TikTok, I mean, that's what you see most of the time now with a lot of the younger people, which is why, like I said, TikTok, it's fun and it's good, but I mean, it can take you to some strange places, and a lot of these kids are addicted to it. Like
mhm,
it's something where they literally have to, and they get in these rabbit holes, because I've done it myself. I will say that,
mhm.
where you get on there and before you know it, like, oh, let me check a couple of things on TikTok. Before you know it, an hour to pass, and you sitting there like still looking at TikToks. Like, what?
If I'm gonna be on TikTok, I'm gonna be laughing out loud.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I find something that's gonna keep me entertained to laugh, but all that controversial stuff and all that foolishness,
Right.
I'm scrolling. I'm
I
scrolling.
see what Q said. Q was like, imagine what it's gonna be 10 years from now. Look, 10 years from now, I think it's gonna be even more of an integration into our daily lives. There
Mhm,
was a time when not everybody had a Facebook. Facebook was just like, oh, you heard that about that thing, Facebook? Oh, cool. That was maybe 10 years ago. Now everybody has a Facebook. Now government agencies are actually gauging, whether or not you're employable based on what they see on your Facebook feed. If you don't have a Facebook, if you don't have an Instagram, all of a sudden you don't have any social media. That's a problem.
right. You're
So
you're
it's
weird if you don't have a social
right,
media page.
right,
Okay.
exactly.
I was gonna
Exactly.
be that weird person.
Right.
If I could just wean myself off of all social media altogether, I would. I really would. The only reason that
Mhm.
I'm keeping the Instagram and TikTok is to promote the podcast.
Right. And see, and I mean, I can't see where in 10 years it's not going to be like an even more intrusive thing. Like your
Mhm.
Facebook and your Instagram and stuff like that. Like I feel like companies, or they're already starting to do it. Companies are already starting to like scrub your Facebook and see if you're worthy of being hired. One of the
Hmm.
jobs that I was applying for a few years ago before I ended up, at the bestest of business bureaus, like they scrubbed my Facebook. They went through my
What?
Facebook and looked at everything that I had on there. And they called it
Wow.
a media evaluation. And I said, a media evaluation. So the girl was like, yeah, because I was wondering why they were asking for, my social media. And that's why. So they
Well,
would go through it and see what was on there.
I can kind of see that because I we've seen a whole lot of people lose their jobs for posting
Yeah.
racist material, hate speech, and thinking that it's okay. This my personal social media. My job. Don't tell me what to post. Okay, and you lost your job for posting this stuff.
Yeah, and so that's one of the things I look at, and I'm like, even though I don't agree with the scenario, you can't do that. You can't just post stuff on because that's whether or not you feel like that's your Facebook, you still
Right.
posting to the public when you're doing stuff like
Exactly.
that. Oh
And
yeah,
that if 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 that if that job doesn't want to back you and be behind that message, and they find out, the public finds out you actually work at their job and they haven't
hmm
done anything about it, that's bad press on them. They're not going to
right,
sacrifice their business because you feel like you want to post something on your personal page. It's freedom of speech.
hmm
And I hate these I almost cussed, these dumb people hollering about freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Yeah, you got freedom of speech, but you're not free from the consequences of it either.
right,
You're
exactly.
not
You're
free from
not
the
free from the
consequences of it.
consequences.
Freedom
Right
of
now, the
speech
only
just means that you can say it and the government can't come and arrest you for it. But if your job want to fire you, okay, they can fire you.
right now, the only thing that I get nervous about with that is that every once in a while the goalpost will move. Like
Mhm.
something that we accept right now and we think is fine. 10, 15 years from now, people might think that that's totally, that's just awful. How dare you talk about God online? That is ridiculous. I don't
Well,
believe you. You know what I'm saying? That type of
they're
and I
already
want
trying
to
to
say
censor people from there. You say God and Jesus, and they gonna can't ain't nobody
right.
gonna see your post.
Right. I saw a post on Facebook where they were talking about how people who use, the Christian, they were saying specifically Christian um verbiage and things like that, those people should be ostracized because Christians were responsible for this, and they equated it to being hate speech if you were telling somebody, bless you. What was the phrase? It was something in the name of Jesus, something, and they consider that hate speech. And I was like,
Wow.
what? What?
Wow. That's
Now
crazy.
this is one person saying this right now, right?
Hmm.
But that post had quite a few likes on it.
Oh
So
yeah,
you start wondering, will there be a moment where the goalposts get moved?
it
You know
will.
what I'm saying? So
It
so you
will.
you always want to be, cautious of where you go with it, like how stringent you make their Facebook's policy. I ain't saying be the Wild West, but also being like, you know what, let them say whatever they gonna say, and but you know they're gonna have consequences for it. Let them say what they're gonna say. Don't restrict it. Besides, I would rather be able to see the snakes that's in the path than walk by them and have them come bite me out of the bush. So let me see it. Let me see it. Don't edit it. Let me see exactly what y'all doing and what y'all saying.
Yes, let me get some more of these comments coming in. Kaylee the Boss says, I agree. All of it starts from home. My mom has always been positive, so mess doesn't excite me. I've been picked on and taught to have compassion. So bullying and taunting is a no-go for me. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Social media has become a norm and a major tool for business. I think putting limits on how you use it is as far as you'll get from weaning yourself off, Erica, and you're doing well.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Facts. It's always a reaction for every reaction. Yeah. Once I just realized that my mental health was suffering because it was causing me anxiety, I felt like it was a responsibility for me to post every day. You know, I'm promoting my business. I'm promoting the podcast. I need to post something new and fresh every day. And some days I didn't have anything.
You'd be stressing yourself out.
Right.
Like literally just like, you know what? I gotta
Yes.
I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta, yeah.
So I've been so much more free and lightheaded and balanced since I've been off of it. And so I couldn't imagine myself getting back on it. And then when I did get on it that day, I just immediately got irritated. And it was like information overload. It was like so much information was coming at me at one time. And I was like, this too much.
Right. You know, and that's the thing, that overload. Like you feel like you have to take it. It's almost like you standing in front of a fire hose, like, oh, this is too much information. You can definitely have information overload. When the pandemic started, when you had, you know, you got a COVID ticker sitting in the side of the screen when you're watching the news, you got all these things going on, and then the George Floyd thing happened, and all of that. There was a lot of people during that time that I believe really just lost it. And just really went crazy because they're getting inundated by information. And there is such a thing as information overload, where you literally are like, you know, I can't take no more information in. And that's when you start seeing the depression and all of those things coming about. There was a lot of folks who got depressed after, who couldn't shake it. I was talking to a girl one time, and she said she cried. She's like, every time she logged on to Facebook, she cried. I'm like, why would you want to log into an app that's making you cry all the time?
Exactly. And
that's making you angry.
Yes, that was it. I absorb whatever I'm reading or feeding or seeing or hearing. I absorb that energy, and then it takes a while for me to get back balanced. So I was like, let me stay away from it. All right. So our next topic, we're going to talk about these unemployment numbers. I read an article where they claim that unemployment rates have gone down, but I don't believe that. I think they're lying.
Lord, yeah. I mean,
we
you see a lot of people
I'm seeing so many business owners who are still complaining that they can't keep staff, they can't hire people, and the people they hire, they can't keep them. So I don't believe that unemployment rate has gone down. It might have gone up.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, the stats that I get, you know, in my job right now, you know, we do a lot of updating of employee numbers for these businesses, and you know, we basically get a printout from the SBA, you know, weekly on the employment numbers for small businesses and things like that. And one of the things that I've seen, because I hear them talk about it a lot, you know, about the employment numbers, you know, going up. I mean, you know, more people are being employed. I don't necessarily see that in those numbers. I mean, it's a It's one of those things where one week it might be slightly up, the next week is down again. It might be
Hmm.
slightly up this week, down again. So I don't think that it's something that's steady. I don't think it's a consistent thing. I think that there's a lot of businesses out here that are still struggling. There's a lot of
Hmm.
businesses out here that are still going through all kinds of craziness right now.
Yeah, I mean, people. I think this pandemic just gave people a taste of not having to go to a job that they already hated anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you want me to go out there and risk my life, possibly get this deadly virus to keep your business going. And
Right.
bef- before this all happened, y'all wasn't treating us fair anyway. Y'all wasn't paying us what we worth anyway. And you want me to come out of my house and risk getting this
Right.
virus to work your little funky job? And now some
Hmm.
of these jobs are trying to raise the wage, and it's still not enough. People are still saying, that
Hmm.
still ain't enough. I'm still not coming.
Right. Well, one of the things I was talking to one of our people the other day, and they were like, they're vaccinated. There are a lot of the people are vaccinated, but they're still having a problem bringing people into work because they're like, even if I'm vaccinated, I can still catch it. I can still bring it to people. I can still do. And they was like, I don't want to take the chance, even
Right.
though I'm vaccinated. I still don't want to take the chance of getting out there and getting it or having, what I'm saying. There are people, you know that feel like that. There's a lot of people who feel like that they don't want to go out there and deal with it, especially if they ain't gotta go out there and deal with it. There's a lot of places that are doing work from home right now. Mine,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing work from home. And because they're thinking about the fact that they don't want to have their employees exposed to the BS. you
Right.
know,
Because there's so
but a
much
lot of places don't.
there's so much misinformation, there's so much conflicting information being put out there. You don't know what to believe. So I'm not going to take a chance, cuz I don't you saying I can get fully vaccinated and I won't get symptoms as bad, and I won't be able to spread the virus, but we're hearing about people who's fully vaccinated who are still getting really sick and still infecting other people. So, what you want me to believe?
Right, exactly. I mean, the big thing was, I think initially, I mean, the vaccine's always been a scenario where it's like it's not going to prevent you from getting the virus. It's just there to help your body better prepare and be, and deal with the virus if it does encounter the virus. But when you look at a lot of these political circles and a lot of these pundits that are out there, they were making it sound like, oh, if you go get the vaccine, you ain't got to worry about COVID no more.
Mm-hmm.
You be fine. And
Giving
I
people a
think that
false
was
sense of
when,
security.
right, because they started saying, okay, well, you could go places and not have your mask and use that as the thing. And I think what happened, it kind of jumped the gun a little bit with
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. So, there's a lot of places now. Louisiana just reenacted y'all just redid the mask mandate thing. Like, you have to
Mm-hmm.
have the mask to go into any establishment, because y'all went back up, like, with y'all at like 3 now again,
Right,
right?
because by them giving that false sense of security, the people who got vaccinated were going around with no mask, doing what they normally do, and not thinking that they can actually still catch, pass the virus to other
Right.
people. So that's how the numbers started going up again, because they're like, I done got the shot. I ain't got to wear no mask and this and that and the other, and it's just I just rather stay home, because everybody
Right.
out
I
there
mean, just stay
ignorant.
home, stay masked up. Stay home, stay
Yes.
masked up, and I mean, at least for right now. I mean, pandemics come, pandemics go. There will be such a thing eventually as herd immunity. Either everybody go get vaccinated, or enough people go get it to where they start to develop antibodies. So it's gonna
Yeah.
take a little while to do. It don't just happen in 6 months. Everybody was itching to go outside. It was like, look, we were just talking about social media just now and how much of an effect it has on people. There were people who couldn't go outside no more, and that drove them crazy. sitting in the house all day, having to deal with these children and having to deal with my wife and having to deal with my husband all day. And I just can't take it. Can't take it. I got to get out. So they were itching and jumping to go ahead and get out of here, get back in the street. You mean I can go back out there? Good. They was running out there. Atlanta was one of the main places where you just saw it looked like the virus wasn't even here. Like y'all
had All-Star Weekend. People was coming.
Look, All-Star Weekend. Look, I worked All-Star Weekend with Uber, and when I say I had never seen there was crowds of folks, no mask. This was before the vaccines dropped. They out there, no mask. Woo! They just jumped.
They was in there deep.
Look, the mayor said, "Don't come here. Don't be coming out here." We none of they was like, "Oh, what you said? Come out there." I only heard the last part. Shh, you're breaking up. Okay, I'm coming.
Ooh, Tashira said she caught COVID.
Yeah, that's right. Tashira, you did catch. You counted All-Star Weekend. Because you have all these people from all across the country bringing it right back. Because you already got folks down here in Atlanta who immune systems ain't the best anyway. And then all of a sudden you got, you know what I'm saying? You got all these folks from all around the country coming too. You just started a super spreader.
That's all it was.
And you know, look, Delta probably got developed right there.
Now they talking about a new variant, the Mu variant, which is totally resistant to all vaccines.
Yeah, the Mu is resistant to all vaccine. So that's the one I guess they're watching now. They was talking about the Lambda one, but the Mu is the one I guess now that they didn't start watching. I haven't heard a whole lot about it just yet. The only thing that I did hear was that it was resistant, but they haven't found it in enough people as of yet in North America or South America to be concerned, but they are finding it in Europe. So it's like, oh, okay.
Wow.
That makes me feel better.
Yes, indeed. All right. So our last and final topic, I don't know how we skipped around, but so folks ain't going back to work, but they sure is going to get them the booty.
Yeah, they scared of COVID, but they ain't scared to go to Mexico and let somebody jug a needle of fat up their ass. They cool with that.
I mean, the numbers, the cases is it's skyrocketed over the pandemic. Like, y'all at the house. Why y'all need a big old booty? You're gonna be at the house.
Something better and more comfy to sit on while they at the house.
Unless they're getting ready to go beef up their Instagram feed or they OnlyFans
times
page.
Is hard. They on OnlyFans hard. Times is hard. Look, I ain't going to nobody's office. Let me take this camera and take me. Look, I wish I could do an OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? big. What about OnlyFans name? $sign Big Chunky. And you know.
So I want to my thing is. It was the breasts. At one time, you needed big breasts. Now it's the booties. Like, is it a phase? Is it just a passing thing, or what is it being driven by? Are women getting it to attract men? Are they just getting it for their own? And a lot of times we say we just doing it for ourselves so we can look better in our clothes. No, you're not. No, you're not.
You ain't doing it for yourself. You going out there to get the BBL so you can go ahead and get your OnlyFans together and get your, because the first thing they do once that BBL go, they start posting pictures on Instagram. They doing it for the likes. They doing it for the gram. You know what I'm saying?
They know that's the women with the booties, that's who's getting the attention from the men.
Right, and that's another issue that we have with social media is that we gauge our self-worth, and when I say we, I'm talking about people in general. I'm good, but a lot of times people gauge their self-worth based on how many people like a post or like a picture. Oh, so I said something snazzy and ain't nobody like that one. I gotta come up with something better next time. Oh, I took this picture. They ain't really like this picture. Why I'm only getting 200 likes? I should be getting 700 likes like this girl getting. So they feel like I'm not getting as many likes as Bria Miles. I'm not getting as many likes as Nisa G. And I say, you know what? I'm gonna go out here and get this little Brazilian butt lift. And when I get back, I'm gonna be getting the same exact likes that they be getting. The problem is a lot of them do start getting a lot of those likes and all those things, but they're not liking your picture because they like you.
Right.
They're liking your picture because of what you're presenting on your picture. They don't know you from nobody,
Right.
and they don't feel like they gonna have a chance to get with you anyway. That's just what it is. So, you changing your body to get fake love on a website is ludicrous.
Right.
It really
It's,
is.
I don't know. I get upset because I noticed this on Facebook some years ago. When you post something positive, a positive message, you might get a good amount of traction on it. But then when
Yeah.
you post a picture or a selfie,
Oh
people
yeah.
who you forgot was even on your friend list come out of the woodworks.
Right.
And
Look.
comment.
Right under your post. Beautiful. Can't believe this.
Right.
So
Right.
stunning. I can't believe this, queen. You're amazing. Yeah.
And
That
it
kind of
used to
shit.
piss me off because I'd be like, a man who would come under my picture and give me compliments on my selfie, but won't engage with me when I'm saying something that makes sense, that means something.
Right.
I wouldn't be attracted to you anyway.
Exactly. And I mean, but I guess that's the rub. Like, people start liking those things because they are more enticed by what you look like than who you are. They're more entitled to look there. They're more enticed by, your picture than what you have to say. I see that even with a lot of these Instagram models where they'll write something like inspirational or something and they don't get hardly no likes on it. They might get like 100, 150. You got the dudes who want to get in there and still be like, yes, queen, that's amazing. You have a great point. I can't believe it, queen. So you're so beautiful and you're smart as well. You'll see that. But let them post a picture with them in the kitchen or when they at the beach or something like that. 12,000 likes. And they be like, what the heck? So what they start doing to be slick, they'll put that picture up and then they'll write that little sentimental stuff right there on the next slide. Make themselves, they was liking me because of the slide, the what I had to say. No, they wasn't.
No, they wasn't.
They wasn't even paying attention to that.
They didn't read
They wasn't even paying no attention. That's the same people who believe that people read Playboy for the articles.
For the articles. That's why I'm like, social media not doing it for me no more, because if you're not gonna be able to put out a message to inspire and help people and motivate people, I don't want to do all of the surface, superficial stuff. That I ain't with all that.
Right. But see, a lot of these people go under the fake guise that they're actually trying to help people. Like if you go through a lot of these Instagram models pages, I know you've seen a whole lot of this lately, the whole workout thing where they be doing the workouts and all that kind of stuff and shaking their butt too, but doing the workouts. Be like, you could be like me.
No, don't.
You want to get with my program?
I be seeing it. I got a different news feed than you.
That's right. You might have a different. Yeah,
I don't see that stuff.
Slightly different. See, on my feed, I see a lot of those things.
I know.
I already told you about the real estate girl, but you know what? A lot of real estate people are doing this now, and it's kind of crazy to me. Where I wouldn't know that they were selling houses if they didn't every fourth or fifth post put, yeah, I'm selling a house at such and such today. Come check me out. But then, like, most of that stuff be booty pics.
Right. Ma'am,
What she say? Gator soul show see a lot.
we
Look,
the topic we just talked about earlier. I don't think it's a good idea to advertise booty shots to sell a house, because a man might show up there act like he want to buy the house, and
right.
he really coming there to try to grab your
You
booty.
coming there to see you and try to get you. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
because we just talked about how these men out here is creeping on women and stalking women and trying to break up into women's apartments and following women
Right.
through the grocery stores and all of that kind of stuff. The last
Because some
thing you
people
want
are
to do is give them any kind of bait.
right. Some people are incels. Some people are legit people who are, they don't know how to communicate with people. They don't know how to communicate with people in person, at least. They live vicariously through the things that they see online, whether that be porn, whether that be, all that kind of stuff. And you see a lot of those tropes in pornos and then on like TikTok that the people just show it. There's one TikTok video. There's a little thing that they always do where, like, what would you do if I showed up in your house like
Right.
this? Or what would
Yeah.
you do if I broke into your house? That kind
Yeah.
of thing. Trying to play off of that kind of that fantasy, quote
Right.
unquote, of that type of interaction or whatever. And
Yeah.
those things are hazardous to women.
Mhm.
That's very hazardous, because you have guys who legit think, hey, if I come to this woman's house and I'm knock on her door, she gonna let me in.
Mhm.
If I come here, look, I came to work on your plumbing or whatever, and try to make a move on the woman once you get in there.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, joyful and blessed. I feel the same way. There is a spirit out there that is getting into these men, and it's making them believe that they got free range to do what they want to these women, and it's too widespread.
Yeah.
That's why it's alarming, because I'm seeing too many of these stories, like in a short period of time. Woman after woman after woman is saying these kind of things are happening, and it's not the same woman, it's not in the same area, it's all different situations, and
Right.
they losing their mind.
Right. And a lot of it, again, it comes to that social media scenario. We're contactless now. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have to go somewhere to meet people.
Right.
I mean, hey, you and I, the first time we met was online. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
Exactly.
and most of the people in our community, we've only met online. I
Right.
mean, so that's how you meet people now. But I think in a way that limits your ability to interact with people that are
Mm-hmm.
in a close vicinity with you, like that you're
Right.
actually right by, or with guys, that's a problem, because
Right.
guys see these images on social media and they think that this is how women are going to react. If
Right.
if I break into your house, hey girl, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Are you
Yeah.
gonna react like they do on these videos?
Right.
No,
And
you're not. But
there's a lot of toxic messages out there, like, men are supposed to hunt women, men are supposed to
yeah,
pursue women, and yeah, she might say no the first time, but you got to keep going, you got to keep being persistent, and then she'll eventually give in, and women want you to chase them and all this type of stuff. I don't literally want you to chase me down my
right,
hallway trying to
exactly.
get in my apartment.
Right. Pursuing someone is completely different than I'm gonna chase you, you know. But
Literally.
what's messed up though? We've learned, this is learned behavior for us. You remember Family Matters. You remember
Mm-hmm.
how Steve used to be pressing Laura? And
Mm-hmm.
see, you couldn't do that on TV these days. And I'm wearing you down, girl.
Yeah.
Really? or the Parkers when old
Nikki,
girl was chasing after when she was chasing
Professor
after Professor.
Ogilvy.
Yeah, you know, you can't do that.
No,
You know what I'm
that's
saying? Now
TV. That's not real
look,
life. You can't do
look,
that in real life.
they even canceled Pepe Le Pew.
Right.
For the stuff that he was doing.
Cartoon character.
Right, you know, so there are things. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier about the moving of the goalposts. Like you can the whole thing with Steve Urkel and everything was all right back when we was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not.
No,
You know, so who's to say that what we say today may not be okay 10 years from now? So the onus comes on us to regulate what we're bringing into our space and what our kids are bringing into their space.
Yeah, and I think this pandemic and the the isolation and people are not being able to really move about how they want to. I think that is a factor that's aggravating a lot of people's mental health issues who probably already had mental health issues. They
Right.
probably losing touch with reality. They spending more time on social media and they're starting to feed into that and make that their reality. And or they might be just in this state where they feel so isolated they just want to be connected to somebody. So I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna find me a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what's going on in these men's minds, but all I know is it's a shame that you have to be so on guard to
Yeah.
leave your house and to even go into a public place where they're getting bold enough now where even in a public place where other people around, they still are walking around following you in the
Mm-hmm.
grocery store. This girl posted a video. She was walking around in Target and the man was following her on every aisle she went on. He was following her.
Right.
She had to get two Target employees to walk her to her car to get away from him.
That's sad. You know what's scary about that? How many women do you know that can share that story? Because there's a lot of women that I know that literally have shared that exact same story with me. They're walking through the store and dudes just following them up the aisles and coming up this aisle and coming up that aisle and all that kind of stuff, and just literally just and observing a woman and thinking a woman's great, or is beautiful, or they have a nice body and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's if you're deciding that you want to literally follow this person, stalk this person, as they're this person's like little that's that type of stuff is dang near illegal on that type of
Exactly.
term. When you literally get to a point where you're stalking somebody, you're following up the aisles, and I think it's even more creepy when you don't say nothing. Like it's different if you was coming up there and like, "Hey, miss, how you doing? Hey, I couldn't help but observe you. I think you're beautiful. I would love to get to know you. Blah blah blah." But they
Right.
don't do that. They literally sit there because they're so not available or not able to speak and communicate an idea. They're sitting there just watching them.
Right.
Just watching them, and those are the ones who are scary because those are the ones who don't know how to communicate and will literally do like they did that girl who was at her apartment, literally run down the hall after you, chasing you, trying to get into your spot.
And it was so obvious when she was taping him, he wasn't picking up anything. He was, you could tell he wasn't really he was like looking at stuff, but he wasn't really looking. He was looking at her. So he was being so obvious. It was like, sir, see, I'll be like, God knows not to put me in those situations because I'll be like, can I help you?
Right.
So everywhere I go, I see you. Why is you following me, sir?
He would have caught them bowls.
I'm gonna make him follow me right over there to the Raid, and I'm gonna give me a big old can of Raid. Spray him all in his
spray him
face.
down with that Raid.
Yeah, go away from me, sir.
Right, exactly. That'll teach him.
Yeah, I don't do that. You stop it. That's you don't. people don't owe you attention. They don't owe you they don't
Right.
owe you nothing. She don't
Right.
she don't have to talk to you, and then it'll be a situation where you put her in a situation where she's like, no, thank you. Ah, bitch, you think you too good for me? You think you can't talk to me? And this and that and the other, and it's like, what?
Exactly.
It's not good.
Shoot, not at all.
Some of these folks gonna they're gonna have their son's face on the t-shirt. So if y'all got some sons out here, y'all need to start talking to y'all sons and your brothers and your cousins and tell them, leave these women alone out here in these streets, because a scared person will kill you.
Exactly. It ain't the not scared people you got to worry about. It's the scared people you got to worry about.
Right.
Them the ones that'll take you out. And like you said, they will put your face on the t-shirt.
Right.
And you be looking crazy. And not in a good way. By the way,
I'm saying, not in a good way.
Merchandise.
You're gonna be on a t-shirt with some wings,
with
some wings on it.
Right.
And I'm like, why you putting wings on that boy? You know that boy, you sell drugs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I hate
wings on everything.
Exactly. He's sitting down there in the club with a blunt in his mouth, and the money's sitting down there with some wings on. That's the only picture y'all had. I know Mookie had a better picture than that.
I go snatch that shirt if you don't take these wings off of this boy.
For real. For real.
Yes. Well, thank y'all for joining us this evening for another dope discussion. It was a good one. Hey, we went an hour and a half, but we had some good topics to cover.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I mean, it's always good to catch up anyway. But hey, you know, when you're talking about current news and events, I mean, you're gonna go a little long because look, there's a lot of craziness going out there that we got to speak on.
Yes. So thank y'all for joining us. What she said, I learned how to make those today. What you learn how to make? The t-shirts with the wings on them.
With the wings on them. So if y'all son step wrong, make sure to call to KKG Creation.
KKGcreations.com.
She'll take care of you.
We gonna sing y'all song.
Put some bling on them wings.
Right.
Put some bling on them wings.
Y'all son gonna be on one of Tashira's shirts. Messing with these women out here in these stores, better stop.
For real.
Yes. All right. So we're about to get out of here. Anything you want to leave the people with before we get out of here, Gator? Oh,
just want to thank y'all for tuning in. The shirts with the wings, yeah. Just want to thank everybody for joining the virtual congregation. Thanking everybody for being here, and looking forward to seeing y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, or something like that.
Yes. Come back next week. We are going to be talking about why are black men and black women so mad at each other. We're going to be hashing that out with our special guest. We got our special guest from the Relationship Hotspot, Javon Martin and Nakisa Green. They were actually our very first guests when we did our very first live show. So we bring
it came back all the way around.
All the way around. Yes. Yes. So we're going to be talking about why are black men and black women so mad at each other? Why are we so at war with each other? And how can we come together on common ground and understand each other and see each other's point of view and stop being so angry with each other? Right.
Like, why we got to be mad? Let's just get along.
Can we all just get along?
Right.
Well, see y'all next Sunday. Thank y'all for joining us. Y'all have a good night.
See y'all next Sunday. Peace out.